understand the path to financial freedom, I'm going to share 6 tips that you can implement today to help you inch that much closer. Step 1, get clear on your finances. If I was to ask you, how much cash do you have across all of your bank accounts, or how much debt do you have outstanding, would you be able to answer on the drop of a dime? If not, that means you need more visibility to your finances. There are 3 softwares I would recommend here to help you out. I'll leave all the links in the description box. The first company is called You Need a Budget. This was actually the first software I used at 22 years old, my first job out of college, to create a budget. It's so easy to use, it provides clarity, it allows me to understand how I'm tracking along my financial goals. It has a lot more bells and whistles than just that, but I love this service. It only costs $84 a year. The second software is Mint.com. Now, Mint was actually purchased by Intuit a number of years ago, but what I love about this software is, again, it's super easy to use and it's free $99. So if you don't want to spend any money out of pocket, this is a great solution, again, where you can integrate your different banks, credit cards, all your bills, so you can understand how you're tracking financially. And the last software I'll put out there is called Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey. Now, I actually love Dave Ramsey. I started my financial journey over 10 years ago, reading his books and following his philosophies. I actually have 0 debt today, and that's in large part to my mother's upbringing and her encouraging us to remain debt-free, but Dave Ramsey providing a roadmap and teaching us how to do so. Now, his is also a paid service, so again, if you're looking for a free option, Mint would be the way to go. Tip number 2 is talk about your finances. I know, this is not obvious and this might sound like, but hear me out. According to a recent Wall Street article, 61% of millennials feel comfortable talking about their credit card debt, and 50% feel comfortable talking about their finances. So what does it mean if you're part of the 50% that isn't talking about your finances? You're at a disadvantage because you don't understand what's market parity. So I'm not suggesting that you go around telling everyone your business all willy-nilly. It should be a small, trusted circle in which you get visibility to your finances. Maybe it's a life partner, a best friend, could even be a coworker that you trust. That is a great place to start. The thought here is you shouldn't have to figure out your finances alone. You should build a trusted tribe that can support you in achieving your financial goals. Don't be afraid to talk about your finances with your trusted circle. Tip 3, reduce your expenses. One of the biggest mistakes I see folks making is once their income goes up, their expenses goes up along with it. That has never been my philosophy. I subscribe to what I've coined the 60-40 principle. I save and invest 60% of my income and I live off 40%. Now, I've done this since I was 22 years old. So whether I was making $50,000 a year or multiples of that, that principle has remained the same. So in this example, let's say I'm making $50,000. If I'm living off of 40% of that, that means I get $20,000 to attribute towards my expenses. So for me to be able to stay within this constraint, I take a look at my biggest expenses and figure out how do I reduce that number. So for instance, if rent is my biggest expense and I have $20,000 to stretch out for the entire year, I'm not going to spend $2,000 on rent. I'm going to blow right through that and not have enough money for clothes, for food, or for entertainment. So what I might do is get a roommate. Or I might move to a different city where the cost of living is lower. But you need to think about where you're willing to make cuts if financial freedom is something you're serious about. The winners in this game are the ones who are willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. And you're watching this video, so I know you're a winner. Tip 4, increase your income. So for me, I wanted to pay off all of my student loans. I wanted to have at least 5 years of expenses saved up before I quit and started my own business. I also wanted to have a healthy investment portfolio. So I decided to start a side hustle. That's one of the easiest ways to increase your income. If you want me to create a video sharing some of the highest paying side hustles out there, just drop me a comment in the section below and I got you guys. In addition to side hustle, a lot of people people don't proactively ask their bosses for raises. After you've been there for a certain amount of time, you have a track record of success, you should ask for a raise. You deserve a raise. If it seems like your boss is not going to budge and you're not going to get a raise anytime in the next year or two, you might want to consider getting a new job. Now, I'm not saying that flippantly. This is something that's going to take a lot of thought and reflection to see if this is the right decision for you. But maybe you're underpaid, and maybe it's time for you to get paid your worth by going to another company. Ultimately, increase your income through investments, side hustles, and increasing your salary pay. Step 5, create a money plan. I actually hate the term budget because it feels like it's all about constraint, but a money plan is seeing something holistically. When you're thinking about a plan, it's strategic, and strategy means that there's always trade-offs, right? What are you willing to cut so you can get what you're really longing for, which is financial freedom? Many of the websites suggested at the top of this tip section, from Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar, Mint.com, and You Need a Budget, also has a feature to help you create your money plan. Tip number 6, find an accountability buddy. So we started this tip section by sharing the recommendation of actually talking about your finances with a trusted group of people. I would hope that at least one would step up to be an accountability buddy. So for myself, I have a great girlfriend. Once a month, we hop on a Google Meets call, we open up our spreadsheets, and we talk about how we're doing financially. What investments are going up? Which ones are weighing our portfolios down? What big purchases are we planning to make, whether it's a property? So that way we can hold each other accountable and making sure that we're inching toward our goal of financial abundance. In these meetings, not only do we talk about progress, we talk about setbacks and challenges and problem solve together. So that way, it's not me just trying to figure it out alone, rather me having a tribe that believes in what I'm trying to accomplish, encouraging me and making sure that I'm setting myself up for success. Have you learned something new today? If yes, I need you to do something for me. I need you to go in the comment section and tell me something new that you haven't heard before, or a refresher, something you needed to hear again. Also, tell me one action item you're going to take today to encourage financial independence in your life. While you're down there, make sure that you smash that like button and smash that subscribe button. It's a free way to show this channel some support. Here's to you reaching your wildest financial dreams.